Hello students, in this interaction we are going to discuss about deoxyribonucleic acid DNA. uh, Structure of DNA. As you are aware of, DNA is the genetic material in all organisms. However, in certain viruses such as the AIDS virus and the tobacco mosaic virus TMV, it is not DNA but RNA, which is the genetic material. Now, DNA is located in the prokaryotic cells. It is circular and occurs in the cytoplasm as a component of prochromosome and plasmids. In eukaryotic cells, that is the cells with the nucleus, DNA is linear, that is a strong, long chain, and largely confined to the nucleus as a component of the chromosomes. And the DNA which is there in the nucleus, it is called nuclear DNA. A small quantity of DNA also occurs in mitochondria and plastids. This is called extranuclear or organelle DNA. Uh, it is again this DNA that is mitochondria and plastids. It is circular like prokaryotic DNA. Prokaryotic means the DNA which is there in the bacteria and other such organisms. DNA is present in some viruses also. Quantity. Now the quantity wise, the DNA content is fairly constant in all the cells of a given species. However, before the cell division, because when the cell is going to divide, as you are aware of, mitosis and meiosis are two processes in which cell division take place. So in that case, DNA amount is doubled because during the process it is going to be again brought to the same level, that is halved, and then it will be same. So amount is doubled when just it is about to start off the cell division. But in case of gametes, when in meiosis gametes are formed, as you are aware of, in meiosis single cell divides into 4 gametes. So here the number of that as the gametes are the number of gametes formed from a single cell is 4. So the DNA content is half the amount of DNA, for a very simple reason, because the number of chromosomes present in each cell or each gamete is also half. Now, before really getting into the details of the structure of DNA as such, let us see the historical perspective. It took many years to reach the present level of information. Firstly, in 1869, nucleic acids were isolated by Frederick Mischer, and he named them as nuclein. If you see here, it was named as nuclein. Subsequently, Zacchaeus found nuclein to be restricted to chromatin. So it was observed later on by Zacchaeus that it is confined to chromatin. But this nuclein term was renamed to nucleic acid by R. Altman in 1889. Fisher, he discovered purine and pyrimidine bases, as now we know that there are uh, cytosine, guanine, adenine and thymine are 4 nitrogenous bases, and of course out of these 4, 2 are purines and 2 are pyrimidine bases. So it was first discovered by Fisher. Phosphoric acid was also found to be associated in DNA molecule by Levine in 1910. So important constituent now, as we find this. Presence of DNA in chromosomes was first confirmed by Fulgen in 1924. Now, other such related discoveries include that 4 types of nucleotides were first discovered by, as earlier also mentioned, Levine in 1920s. Then the sugar is of deoxyribose type. As you are aware of, 2 types of sugars are uh, ribose and deoxyribose, I mean pentasugars, of course. So it was done by Levine. And then differentiation of DNA from RNA by Verum in 1938. Uh, Another important thing was by W.T. Astbury. He found through X-ray diffraction study of DNA that it is a polynucleotide. This point is very important. It is a polynucleotide with nucleotides lying at right angles to the long axis of molecule at a distance of 3.44 angstrom from one another. As we now find that different types of DNA, which we shall be studying. 5 types of DNA: A, B, C, D, and Z type. So the number of nucleotides vary in all these 5. However, when we will be discussing type B, the main, then we'll find more or less this data is applicable. So another important discovery was from Chargaff. So he found that purine and pyrimidine content of DNA to be equal, with adenine equaling thymine and guanine similar to cytosine. So here he finds that thymine is equal to adenine and cytosine is equal to guanine. As you are aware of 4 types of nitrogenous bases, let us quickly have a look. What are these 4 types of nitrogenous bases look like? Well, students, as you find here, there are two purines, that is nitrogenous bases. These purines are called 9-membered rings for a very simple reason. They have got 2 rings, but not equal rings. So carbon, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, and 9. So this is a purine. So purine, here we find purines, that is adenine here. And then similarly guanine. Guanine also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So 9-membered rings are there as purines. They are adenine and guanine. So adenine and guanine both form part of deoxyribose nucleic acid, that is DNA. However, when we come to pyrimidines, there are 3 pyrimidines. One is thiamine, cytosine. Now this thiamine and cytosine, they form part of DNA. However, this uracil, if we go up to this place uracil does not form part of DNA. It is a component of RNA. In RNA, we find in place of thiamine, there is uracil. So here we find that in DNA molecule, the 4 nitrogenous bases are adenine, guanine, thiamine, and cytosine. Well, we'll also just go through the ribose sugar. In fact, I should say the pentose sugar, which forms part of this complex. I'll just quickly go through these 2 types of sugars also. Now, students, as you find here, 2 types of sugars are D-ribose and deoxy D-ribose here. When we talk of D-ribose pentose sugar, when I say pentose means with 5 carbon. How? 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is the 5th carbon. Number 1 carbon and number 4 carbon, they are joined together with the help of this oxygen here. So if at number 2 carbon we have got OH group, hydroxy group, but if this oxygen is not there, in that case this D-ribose is called deoxyribose, as you find here. So number 1 carbon, number 2, but this 2 does not have OH. It has got H. Rather, here it has got OH, but here it is H. So this is deoxyribose sugar. So 2-deoxy D-ribose sugar. So this is part of DNA. That's why the name is DNA, deoxy. But here this forms part of RNA, which we shall be studying little later. So this is ribose sugar and this is deoxyribose sugar. This is cyclic molecule, but otherwise if we see the molecule, D-ribose looks like this. Just if we see here that this is D-ribose, so this molecule is a linear chain, but in the cyclic molecule, which are very important there in the study of both the nucleic acids, so sugars, that is pentose, are ribose and deoxyribose. So this deoxyribose, 1, second is 2 of the nitrogenous bases, for example here like 2 purines and 2 pyrimidines, so totally 4. So deoxyribose sugar, as we have seen earlier, and these 4 nitrogenous bases, that is adenine, guanine, thiamine, cytosine, and a phosphate group. These 3, they make a nucleotide. So they make a nucleotide. But if we consider only the ribose sugar, rather deoxyribose sugar, and one of the nitrogenous bases, then it is called nucleosome. But if we also add phosphate with this, it is called nucleotide. About this we shall be studying a little later in detail. So here Charge found that purine and pyrimidine content of DNA to be equal. Uh, the reason was here that one of the purine molecule always makes a bond with one of the pyrimidine molecule. It means a cytosine will have a bond with guanine and a adenine will have a bond with thiamine, or vice versa. So adenine with thiamine and guanine with cytosine. So that is how the content is always it remains same. Then comes another discovery in 1952. It was found that DNA to be a helical structure, DNA to be a helix. Helix basically a curved fold. So as we find that DNA is a double helical structure. Then came a very important discovery in 1953. Wilkins obtained very fine X-ray diffraction pictures. So this is very important. The technique used was X-ray diffraction pictures of DNA, from which Watson and Crick developed the double helix model of DNA. It was published in April issue of Nature. The three, in fact, got Nobel Prize subsequently in 1962. So this double helical structure, which was published, which was presented by Watson and Crick in 1953, was just a one-page paper, and it almost brought sort of a revolution in biology and as such. Another, the Linus Pauling, he was a Nobel laureate, of course, believed that DNA to have three strands. But as we now know that DNA has only two strands. That is why it is a double helical structure. Then Kornberg synthesized DNA in vitro in 1961, in vivo, and then subsequently in vitro, that is outside. So that is how it was first time it was it happened.